Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Max Velocity weather forecast. And in today's forecast, we'll be breaking down a huge storm that is about to be ramping up across the United States. That's going to bring a lot of rainfall, some severe weather as we go into tomorrow and Saturday, in addition to some warmer weather. But with that being said, I do think that there will be a better chance of an Arctic blast as we get closer to the middle and end of the month. And we'll be discussing that in this forecast as well. I'll be giving you the latest breakdown on everything that you need to know in this forecast, and let's begin first with what's happening across the United States right now, and we will begin with the west coast of the United States. And you might be wondering why exactly we're beginning over there. It's usually not very active in terms of weather. Well, we actually have a lot of weather happening right now on the west coast of the United States, and that is all coming from a very strong jet stream. We are seeing a lot of showers and even some thunderstorms across the west coast of the United States today. This is round one of two that we're going to see, with a lot of rainfall crashing into the west coast of the United States. Areas like California could pick up as much as 6 inches of rainfall over the next 5 days. And it doesn't end there, because this particular storm is going to move across the Great Plains as we go into tomorrow and Saturday. This will bring some showers and thunderstorms across the central and southern plains. This could lead to some isolated severe weather as we go into tomorrow night, so be mindful of that. We'll have a much more detailed breakdown on that later in this forecast. And then back down in the southeast, this will be an area to watch for Sunday and Monday, where there could be some heavy rainfall and perhaps even a little bit of isolated severe weather. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, by the way. We are currently 2,500 subscribers away from 100,000. That's crazy to think. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. All right, let's break down more about this weather pattern that's happening across the United States. And to look at this weather pattern, we're going to check out the jet stream. This gives us an idea of the weather patterns that are happening across the United States. And right now, we have a very strong Pacific jet stream for this time of the year. This is essentially called an atmospheric river event, a pineapple express, whatever you want to call it. Those all basically mean the same thing. And what this essentially means is that we have multiple storms in the Pacific Ocean riding along this zonal jet stream, which is allowing for showers and storms to crash right into the west coast of the United States. But with that being said, we also have a very strong ridge in place across mainly the northern tier of the United States. Now, we've been talking about in our last couple of forecasts that this ridge is essentially acting like a wall that is dominating across the west coast of the United States, and that's basically preventing storms from passing by this wall. But once we go into tomorrow morning, we're going to actually see this wall kind of break apart a little bit, and this wall will actually lift more up here to the north, and that's going to allow for a little sneaky area of energy to move across the southern tier of the Rocky Mountains and eventually into the southern plains, and that is where those showers and storms are going to be coming as we go into Friday and Saturday. So notice this as we go through Friday and Saturday, that ridge starts to move further up here to the north and east. That trough will start to sneak in there across parts of the southern plains, again allowing for showers and thunderstorms. By Sunday into Monday, that low pressure system will actually sneak underneath this high pressure system. So the omega block weather pattern will basically go away as we go into Sunday into Monday. And eventually, as we go into Monday, another storm will be crashing into the west coast of the United States. That'll dump a lot of rainfall for areas like California, Oregon, and as well as Washington. By Wednesday into Thursday, the weather pattern will continue to stay very active overall across the northern tier and the western tier of the United States. And by next weekend, things become a bit more uncertain, but I do think there's a little bit of increasing confidence that there could perhaps be an Arctic blast as we get closer to the middle of the month, but the exact details on that are still very unknown, and if it even happens, it's still a bit of an unknown thing. But we are in February. It's bound to happen at some point, right? Especially with us still being in winter, and Groundhog's Day, by the way, is tomorrow. All right, let's talk a bit more about what's upcoming over the next few days. Some of the things we'll be talking about are the temperature trends in addition to the severe weather potential. So let's first hop in, though, to the severe weather potential over the next couple of days, beginning with Flying Fences Friday. We do currently have a marginal threat of severe weather from Oklahoma back into the DFW Metroplex, where there is a Storm Chaser Summit happening, by the way, tomorrow evening. And there's also a threat of severe weather down in South Texas, where we do have a slight risk of severe weather for areas near Austin, Texas, and then west of Houston. The main concern right now is damaging winds and large hail. There also might be an isolated tornado or two back down in parts of South Texas. That would primarily be near and just west of Houston, back through the Austin area. Then going into Scary Storm Saturday, overall the storm shouldn't be too scary, but right now we are looking at a marginal threat of severe weather across the Gulf Coast, stretching from Texas back into southern Louisiana. It is really on the extreme coastline of Louisiana. It's going to be impacting very little people overall. Main concerns right now for Saturday will again be maybe an isolated tornado, but I think more than anything, damaging winds will be our main concern. So what are we talking about in terms of severe weather over the next few days? Flooding, rainfall, who's going to be seeing any snowfall over the next 7 days. Let's break that down for you in detail. We're going to begin with tomorrow morning. Right now, there will be some snow across parts of the Rocky Mountains overall, nothing too crazy. Once we go into Friday afternoon, moisture will start to surge out of the Gulf of Mexico. A strong southerly wind will bring some showers and thunderstorms to areas from Kansas back through Texas. This will really ramp up during the evening and overnight hours Friday into Saturday morning. And eventually, as we go through Saturday, those showers and storms will really slowly move to the east across parts of Texas, eventually into Louisiana by lunchtime. And by the late afternoon, evening hours, that low pressure center will become a bit more noticeable, I would say, across areas in the southern plains. We will be talking about some snowfall from Montana back into Colorado. And then once we go into Sunday, that shower and storm activity will move into Florida and areas in the southeast. I would not rule out a couple of tornadoes in Florida on Sunday with this particular setup. So I have a tornado action plan in place just in case any tornado warnings are issued. By the time we go into Monday, rain will continue across Florida. It will be cloudy, muggy, really dreary weather overall for Monday. Once we go into Tuesday, that moves out and will be dominating with another ridge across much of the United States. It'll be very dry for Tuesday across much of the country. The only exception will be the west coast of the United States, where they will be getting pounded by more rainfall. Eventually, as we go into Thursday and Friday of next week, things become much more uncertain, but there is a little bit more confidence right now that there could be some sort of wintry weather event in the northern plains, maybe North Dakota and South Dakota, but right now the exact details, again, very unknown since we are still so far out. For those in California, the additional rainfall on top of what we've already seen over the last few hours and what is to come through mid next week, we will be watching for a widespread area to see between 2 to 5 inches of rainfall across much of the state. Some isolated locations, especially in the higher elevations, could see as much as 6 to 8 inches of rainfall as well. So there's going to be a lot of rainfall over there. Now, the temperatures over the next 7 to 10 days, they're overall just going to be warm across much of the United States. We're going to continue to battle above average temperatures across much of the United States. There will be some exceptions to this, though. Once we go into early next week, around Sunday into Monday, there will be a little bit of a pocket there of some below average temperatures outstretched from Florida back through the southern plains. Overall, this will continue to ramp up across the East Coast by mid next week. Once we get closer to the weekend, warm weather returns to the entire country with above average temperatures in the forecast. Once we go into the following week, so around mid-February, there is some increasing confidence that we will have an Arctic blast, or at least some sort of cold blast by the middle of the month. But exactly when this happens and how cold it gets and who sees this Arctic or cold blast, it's really just uncertain at this point. So stay tuned. Again, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. We'll be keeping you posted with the latest. I do think there will be something, though, by mid-February. And I know a lot of you want snowfall and colder weather. Again, I think something will be coming by mid-February. But again, we'll see. Things could easily change over the next few days. Temperatures, by the way, tomorrow, we will have some areas near record-breaking territory, back into areas like Montana, Colorado, and even back into Wyoming. Many areas in the mid to upper 50s tomorrow afternoon. Enjoy the warmer weather while it's here, especially in February. We will probably at least see some sort of colder weather again by the mid or end of this month. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button down below and subscribe if you've not already.